Welcome to the Grillcast, dedicated to radical centrists. I am back, my friends. Joining me as always is Micah. What's going on, big guy?
Yay, he's back.
I just want to go ahead and thank Micah for keeping the show running in my absence. It,
Oh,
surely isn't easy to fill
oh,
up these ginormous shoes, but fuck it, someone
no,
had to
and
do it, and
let me just say really quick, I want to apologize before we get started for the lack of content in the last 2 weeks. You might assume that I was just being lazy, but I want to point out to y'all that we're in a recession, okay? So consistent uploads in this economy are just not, these are not realistic expectations, but now that Orion is back and I don't have to do work, things should go back to normal.
very good to
Thank you.
know. Recessions only affect people who are dumb enough to have jobs, in my experience, like the midwits. Recessions only affect them. Recessions don't affect people who are already wealthy, like crypto millionaires. They don't affect homeless people because they had nothing to begin with. Recessions only affect those of us who really
I
deserve it.
like I like that you're gonna go on a tangent before you introduce the guest for this episode. You're
Well,
gonna you're gonna
it
go
looks
straight
like.
into a tangent.
Yeah, I kind of forgot about that. Rose, I think you're muted, but I'd like to introduce you.
Yeah, because of background noise and stuff. How could you forget about me? I'm Rose Mulet, the infamous commentary, community, politics, whatever. I'm known for different things from different people. So hello, I agree with you on the take. Okay, I'm personally rich, right? The recession doesn't affect me, but it sucks. I mean, I guess you could argue like maybe it kind of does, but like 2008 happened, I was none the wiser. So
2008 happened.
yeah, it did. It was a thing that happened. That definitely did. So hello. I just want to introduce myself. You may have seen me debating your favorite, or I guess non-favorite, because I don't know if people hate watch political streamers. You may have seen me make the rounds on Twitter with some controversial tweets, and you may have seen me like with some commentators on YouTube because I've appeared on their streams. I'm kind of just the person that like randomly just appears everywhere, and then you pick up all the pieces. Like, wait, that was you? That was you? Wait, you? What? So
So,
I'm kind of just like everywhere, and like I don't know. I want people to realize that, and then eventually,
how are you so effective at your clout chasing grind set? Like, I constantly try and clout chase because I need the most people to hear me and view me and appreciate me as possible, but I've just not had so much success. Is it like a woman's touch thing or what's going on here? Is it female
Uh,
privilege?
Is it
female. First of all, I would argue like, do trans women benefit from female privilege? Now that's a discussion.
Yes,
That is a debate topic. You think so?
I do.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
I think it depends. I don't know. Well, I would say though, okay,
Well, who is the one distributing the privileges? That's the real question.
I'm not aware. So how am I so successful at what I do? Okay. Now I want you to understand. Okay, it's not trolling. I know some people think I'm a troll. This is an art form. Okay. In order to get yourself well known, I basically make myself known. And so when I first started this, I sent a bunch of emails to people like Destiny and Vaj. I sent these long ass emails with my resume of everyone I've ever talked to and why I'd be a great person. Like I know how to sell myself, and it's like the thing is, I have this exuding confidence, but also like it comes with low self esteem other times. So what happens is I'm just a very fucking interesting person, right? My beliefs are different from the norm, especially with people online, and I think that just interests people. There's something I say: the fact that I'm just so like I just don't give a fuck, right? Like if someone calls me a cloud chaser, I do not care. I'm a nice person, right? I don't like. I'm not one of these like mean people. I'm not so much of a troll like Smaggle that I'm just like saying slurs all the time. I don't say slurs. Excuse me.
Publicly,
But
right?
Have you
I
what?
don't say
tried? Have
I
you
don't
tried?
say I don't say slurs publicly either.
Well, it's not even publicly. I just don't like saying it. Like I'm in private calls with my friends, and I just don't. I don't think they're cool, right? So it's like I
But
have like
I mean, you've used them at some point to know that you don't like using them, right?
I think when I was like 16, I might have used a few,
Okay.
but I don't think you can judge somebody their entire life for the shit they said when they were 16. Like that's bullshit. Like I see people say that all the fucking time. It's like, oh my god, look at your tweet from like 2017. It's like I have plenty of tweets that are offensive from recently. Why don't you focus on those? Like, come on.
Hey, and that's a fair point. So, I'd imagine in a lot of these debates and conversations with people, you talk about trans rights a lot. Seems to be something you're very passionate about. But I'd like to talk to you about trans wrongs today, okay?
What the fuck is a trans wrong?
Well, a trans wrong is that none of them will date me. Now, look, I want to bring this back a little bit. So, I'm afflicted by a curse called straggotry, right? I am a straggot. Every day I try and pray the straight away, but I can't. And it's because I understand that, gay men, they have such privilege in being able to date other men. And, I look at my life dating women, all the hardships I go through. For example, like, trying to find a restaurant or whatever, asking, hey, what would you like to eat today? With my girlfriend, it takes about a half hour to figure that out. If I was dating, somebody with a male brain, it would be like, burgers. And we're all good. We got that figured out. Moving? Walk in the park. As it is right now, I just got done helping a friend move. And I'll have 3 boxes in one arm, a couch in the other, and, yeah, the woman will be there holding 2 candles. All of a sudden, they become a manager of some type, and, oh no, that shouldn't go there. Well, let's just stop and wait for a second. With the dude, or, something like that, you knock it out in a day. Go have some beers
He's got a
after.
point.
And so, what I'm wondering is, why is it that I'm able to trick women into dating me so consistently? And, I can't date men because I'm not gay, which I frequently, explain to people. But trans women won't give me the light of day. Why is that?
This clearly isn't a serious question. First
Excuse
of all,
me?
I think
It clearly is.
okay. First of all, I feel I get transphobic vibes from you. I don't know if you are necessarily transphobic,
I'm not.
but like the way that you're speaking, okay, and I'm going to be as charitable as possible to you. It's giving me transphobe vibes.
I don't know why
Like,
you would
you-
get that.
Can you
I'm a trans
explain
exclusive radical
that?
misogynist. I hope you understand I'm a trans exclusive radical misogynist.
Okay, but like
I'm a misogynist, but I don't include trans women in that because I actually respect them, which is why it's hard for me to date them because they don't fall
well,
for
if
my
you're going to be a
tricks.
misogynist, I want to be included in that. Like, call me a fucking dumb bitch like everyone else.
I can't do that because it's not how I feel. You see, I'm a
Yeah.
very honest person.
Yeah, that's
in how I
everything
feel.
everything is like it's circumstantial, like right? Like I don't think we can just.
Okay, so
apply-
now you're being exclusionary, and you're not treating trans women the same way as other trans women. Call me a fucking dumb bitch because that's what I am.
No, but you seem very smart. Like everything you've said to me so far seems like I can vibe with it. I'm like, oh, this person, they have a brain on their shoulders. Whenever I talk to a cis woman, I'm like, oh my god, like what time is it? It's only been 2
So
minutes.
I feel
Holy shit.
I feel like you're incorrect with that assumption because I do have a female brain, and yeah, I am a dumb bitch. So apologies, but yeah, I feel like you're just trying to like be quote unquote supportive by like it's very weird what you're doing. Okay. But at the same time, it's just you having fun with your friends with this little podcast that your little transphobe friends just listen and laugh at. I don't
I don't understand the like that.
Come on,
You're like recoiling a bit at
dude,
at,
but
at
let's not play dumb here, okay? Like, here's the thing: I control whatever the fuck, but I think the reason people appreciate me is because when they speak to me, I'm fucking genuine, right? I'm not a troll. I speak my mind about things. Like, I don't have these, and that's what like.
Okay,
all these fucking trolls and why
let me
they're
pause
so
this.
old and
You
sick.
hold on. You have made a point to bring up that so many people look at your takes and the things that you talk about and label you a troll, and yet
Yeah.
you were quick to turn that onto to us. And I think that's,
I mean,
not hypocritical,
And it's
a
hurtful.
little bit. Yeah.
Here's the thing: speaking to you, I could be wrong, but I feel very strongly.
And also, like,
probably-
why do you care? Like let's
Because if I'm
entertain
talking-
this. Hold on, let's entertain like the idea that it's a joke. Okay, does it mean
But
he
it's
feels
not.
one way or but it's not. Does it mean that he feels one way or the other, and that you know for sure that it means he feels a certain way or the other, and
Okay,
that
I want to have actual conversations though, and
we could
if
do
it's
that.
If it's trolling and you're just like, let's talk about trans wrongs. Enough about trans rights. Like, if you're all you're gonna do is just make these like weird like jabs at trans people because you think it's funny, like we're not really having a conversation here, are we?
I'm not making a jab at trans people. I'm saying that it's wrong that one of them won't date me, that I'm afflicted with this curse of straggotry, and that I need like
I don't. That's a slur. I don't
I
like slurs.
No.
Stra-
Straggit, they deserve it though because they're the ones in power.
No, I look dumb fucking leftist bullshit. Like, I'm sorry. Like, oh, they have a like. It's so hypocritical.
Is that a
It's like
real
I
word?
hate.
Hold on, is that a real? Is that actually? I thought
Yeah.
you made that
Oh
up.
my
I
god.
thought
No.
you made that up, bro.
No, they don't. Like gay people, I've heard
I'm so
unironically,
offline.
gay people literally say that to straight people because they think it's funny because it's like an own to like. It's so stupid.
I mean, it is kind
It's
of
Yeah,
like,
funny.
that's why I thought he made it up. It's fucking
well, believe it or not, he did it. That's the
okay.
thing. Yeah.
Well, let's
shocking,
let's
right?
let's move on to greener
Look, we can
pastures.
move on
And
from
I
this.
think
This is the wall I always hit when I'm trying to figure out how it is that I can elevate my
approach
dating
people.
game. Yeah, learn to approach people. I don't know. I guess it's I guess it's an
I
autism.
don't.
He's not very desirable. You have to understand. You have
Okay,
to.
listen. I want to have a serious conversation here. I don't buy for a second that you would even date a trans woman, right?
What?
Not to say that I don't know anything about you, but like I don't buy that. I don't get those vibes.
I mean, I do come off as extremely straight, so that's fair. Like, a lot of people tell me my vibes are like,
I'm very
not
straight.
very straight, not gay. I'm
Dude,
right.
I'm
okay,
straighter.
like,
I'm straighter than you.
But like, look,
okay,
it,
hold
it has
on.
nothing to do with that.
Dating a trans woman makes you fucking straight. It's just there are some people who are very transphobic who don't see trans women.
Right?
So,
they don't see
and
them
I
for
get
the
those vibes
beautiful
from you.
creatures they are, and that's wrong. That's why I'm trying to look. We can get
Well,
off
I
this
don't.
topic.
I don't want to be treated any differently from any other woman. I just want to be treated the same.
Oh,
So if you think
you
all
should
women
see.
are dumb bitches,
You should
if
see
you
how
think
I
all women
treat
are dumb
women if you
bitches,
think that.
misogynist. If you think, here's the thing: if you're a misogynist and you think all women are dumb bitches, then I'm a dumb bitch too, right? I'm cool with that.
Agreed.
But if
I
you're
mean-
gonna be if you're gonna do this bullshit being like, oh, women are so terrible, but trans women, like, stop
Well,
with
look,
that. That's
you know,
so fucking dumb, and that bothers me more.
Well, I don't. You see, this is a wall I always hit. I'm just here trying to be a nice guy, trying to get some advice on how I can up my dating game, and here I am offending people again with my hot takes. So, yeah,
Dude, can you just like remove your fucking front and have like an honest conversation about things? Like,
Well,
this is frustrating.
if I removed my front, I'd probably be a little more like you, huh? Boom. Hey, I'm just kidding though. I'm just having.
I mean, actually, that was a good one. Not gonna lie.
Yeah. See, that's how we reel them back in, guys. So, them. That is not. Yeah. So let's
Her.
her.
'Cause I'm a
That's
whore.
how we reel her back in. So let's move on from this hotly contested topic. Thank you for all the wonderful advice.
Do trans people have rights? Do trans people deserve to exist? This is a
Yeah, of
highly
course.
contested topic, guys.
Well, that's not what we were
I-
talking
yeah,
about.
That's
We
not
were
what we're
No, I
talking
know.
about at all. Of course.
That's literally what it feels like, though. And I want to be like, I want to give you charitability, but the way you're speaking, like, if I give you charitability, it makes me look dumb because it's like I know what you're doing.
Look at.
And
Look,
how am I
and you're not
supposed to
alone
have
in
a
that. You're
conversation
not
with, like,
alone.
my
You're
friend?
not alone in looking stupid for talking to us. And I want to give you comfort and solace in the fact that we respect you greatly for doing it.
So basically,
Dude, the thing is,
Basically,
Sorry.
your advice is that I should see because the way I approach dating women, it's like
God
being a
damn it.
used car salesman, right? Like ignore the fact that I'm a 1995 model, all dinged up and shit. I'll put a new painted coat on myself, turn off the check engine light. Hey, baby, what's going on? So I should just do that and be similarly dishonest in my approach with trans women because the thing is, I feel like I'm being too honest.
if you're having a problem dating women, what makes you think dating trans women is going to be any
No.
easier?
I don't have a problem dating women. See, I'm an outcel. It's the different. It's like the opposite of being an incel. Like I get so much sniz that it's actually uncomfortable at times. I'm shooting ghost loads over here. But the
Yeah,
problem is
I've
translating
never-
that to. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I've never heard a touching grass individual use the word outsell.
Have you ever heard anyone use the word outcel? That's an Orion original right there. Write
No,
that one
that's-
down, boys.
That's a new one. I'll give you that.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on from this hotly contested
The third fucking time.
for the third time. Let's talk about let's talk about some of the drama you found yourself in, right?
Yes,
I
I've
think
gotten
Vouch
into a lot.
said that he wanted to hire some Republicans to kill you, something like
Hold
that.
on. No.
Typical.
So what happened was it's my pin tweet. I was on a debate with Bosch, and the most majority of the debate was, "Are Republicans evil?" And I was like, "No, lol." And he was like, "Well, actually, and yeah, Republicans are." And I basically was like, "No, they're not. They're not. They're not Nazis. They're not going to kill me." And he was
Or
like,
are they?
"You're first." He was basically trying to argue that like Republicans in power are just gonna like round me up and like kill me, and that I was first to die because I was a trans woman. Which was like, even if you thought that, which is wrong, why would you say that to a trans woman? Like,
Yeah,
what the
and
fuck?
how could anyone tell in the first place? Like, okay, so also like I do kind of agree with them on the point of wow, cool motorcycle guy. I do kind of agree with them on the point of are Republicans evil because they are evil people. Anybody who's blindly pledged to a party allegiance or what we call wing cucks, those are evil people. Evil in their heart, their mind, their soul. These are people that they've eschewed God's light and they've found
They've sold
themselves
their
in
souls
those. They've
essentially.
sold their souls. Thank you, Micah. So
I mean,
why don't you
That
hate
doesn't
Republicans?
necessarily mean they're targeting you, but from our perspective, if you're far left, far right, you basically give yourself over to whatever doctrine. Yeah, we don't respect it, to
I
say the
kind of
least.
agree with that to some
Well,
extent,
of
right?
course,
Like,
because
I don't
you're
buy
you're
into
a
any
radical
political
centrist.
party lines. I don't know what I am actually. I don't like to
Your
define
well,
myself
your
by party
content
lines.
your content really seems to embody the centrist experience of saying, "Well, I understand that side's argument," followed by a person losing their fucking minds. So,
What is the meme? It's like a chaotic neutral. I guess that you could call me that. I don't know what the fuck that means, but like, I don't know what I am though. I literally just am like myself. I don't buy into this bullshit of like, oh, well, you are one of two parties. Like, no, I have my own opinions, and none of these parties represent me. So what am I supposed to do? It's
Have
like
you
I don't have like
piss people
moderate
off on the
views.
internet.
I guess.
have you looked into Andrew Yang's Forward Party?
So it's funny because I used to like Andrew Yang, but the more I realize it, I start to realize that actually I really don't like him anymore,
What?
and for a
Oof.
lot of reasons. Because like
Because
A
he's
lot of
I
Asian?
was
reasons.
UBI. No, I liked that he was like UBI and stuff, but he's just done a lot of weird stuff, and I'm just kind
He's
of like
done a lot of
gone.
weird stuff, like kinky stuff, or like shady,
He's
like underhand dealing stuff.
he said some stuff that I personally disagree with. I don't
Hmm.
remember exactly what it was that turned me off, but it was like a slow, gradual process. Yeah, this guy's great. We need UBI. He's going to be the one that guarantees it. And then COVID
Hmm.
happened and seemingly proved that right. And now I'm just like, wait, I don't. This guy isn't like what I thought he was. It's like he's kind of a. I don't even fucking know.
See, I demand that my politicians be akin to like a Marvel superhero, right? Like they need to be somebody who does no wrong, does no evil. Like I can't support you if you're doing things that I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Does that jive with you, or how do you feel?
I think that like most politicians are kind of suck. I think we don't get a lot of choice. I think the people that tend to run are not the best people.
And the ones that are the best people, like John McAfee, get killed.
John McAfee was a weird man.
John McAfee was a king.
Weird, but cool.
He, yeah,
He was like the uncle
interesting.
that would get you beer, you know?
Hmm.
And then like hang out at the basement party and hit on your fucking 15-year-old friends when you were a teenager.
He's a very interesting person. I'll leave it at that.
He was, but he was killed. Simply for
Let's get
being
Honestly, I think that is very plausible. I don't know how true that is necessarily. I could understand both sides, but like the tweet is very sus. I'm not gonna lie.
so
back to the controversy.
back to the controversy. So Vouch said he wants to send right-wing Republican thugs to kill you. What is
Well, he doesn't. He just thinks I'm first to die.
Yeah, I mean that's like
Right,
coded
first to die
threats,
when he
right?
sends Republicans to kill you.
That's
Well,
basically
he's
Vouch
not.
saying like, "Oh yeah, I'm gonna send them to kill you in Minecraft."
All
You
right,
know,
yeah, you
it's
don't
basically
believe you don't
Minecraft.
believe you don't believe Vosh is the type of guy who would do that if he had the opportunity.
I think he just thinks I'm naive, but that's quote unquote his justification. But like, he's not gonna personally send them to kill me. That's stupid.
Well,
In your opinion.
in your opinion. So, how about with Destiny? What was your beef with old Destorino?
Oh God, where do I? I don't even know if we like have beef. It was just a debate that I had recently that like raised a few eyebrows. It was basically about like rape and how I didn't think that like rapists should be murdered. Like if someone's trying to rape you, it doesn't give you the right to kill them. And then that was like a whole.
Oh my
Okay,
God.
here we go.
That is a hot take if I have ever heard one.
Yeah, very hot take, but I like it. I think it's a good take.
So why don't you think that someone should have the right to self-defense in a situation like that? What's your argument there? Because I mean that's good for me, but if I was on the other side, I wouldn't.
Dude, okay, first of all, I can't take you seriously when you're trolling this hard.
Well, that was
But,
just a
like-
joke. That wasn't trolling.
Yeah, that obviously was a joke.
No, I know it was a joke, but like, it's hard to take you seriously when you're like talking like that. But whatever. The point was that
Well,
like,
you're talking about how rape is good or something, and I'm taking you seriously. So can you
Yeah,
give me a little bit
to
of
be
leeway
fair.
here?
To be fair, yeah, we are gonna take you seriously when you say you genuinely think that people shouldn't like have the right to respond with deadly force. Like we could have interpreted that as you trolling, and again, but we're not trying to get hung up on stuff like that. We're just trying
it's
to
like
apologize.
you can hear in the tone of somebody's voice if someone is clearly trolling or not. You guys, I can tell by the way you speak that you're trolling, and the way that I speak is really genuine. I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Are you telling me that Donald Trump was trolling?
Like, what do you mean?
You could tell by the tone of Donald Trump's voice that he was trolling that entire time.
The entire time you did what? I don't think he's a.
Okay, wait, let's get back to the topic at hand here, guys. And girl. So you're pro rape, and I want to know what's going on with that.
Oh, God, Brian.
I'm not pro rape.
Okay, I misinterpreted that then. Good faith misinterpretation. Could you explain your
It's just
position?
that I think that life is the most important thing, and I think that you shouldn't kill somebody and punish them with death when they haven't killed somebody else.
And how do
right?
you feel about abortion?
I'm pro-life.
Okay.
Based.
Wow.
Yeah,
Well, consistency is appreciated.
exactly. See, I'm pro-life in all aspects.
I'm not. I don't know about him. I say
No.
kill them all.
No. Look, and this is something I actually kind of wanted to comment on because of, the whole Roe v. Wade thing happening while I was gone. I want to reheat this old turd. I'm sure you guys have heard it all regarding this, but I just think the banning, maybe you don't agree with me, but the banning of Roe v. Wade, the overturning of it, it's so disappointing to me. I'm so disappointed in it. Why? Well, you see, it's disappointing to me because for thousands of years, our society has understood that in order to have a bountiful harvest, you must sacrifice the innocent. Societies all across the globe, right? You have like the fucking Mayans, they killed virgins, threw them in a volcano, bountiful harvest. And we had consolidated it to such a point that we tricked women with their small brains into killing their own innocent children just to feed the harvest, and we told them they weren't even doing anything wrong for it. We convinced them of this. There's women fighting now to murder their own children, angry that they can't because we tricked them so well. And what was the result? Our harvests have been so
Yeah,
bountiful.
we are one of the largest agricultural producers in the world.
We have 7 billion people on the planet, and we're feeding the 6 billion of them that matter. And so at this point, like, when we see this overturned, I mean, look, I caught a lot of fish this summer. I did my part to end the food shortage, but that's not going to last forever. That's not going to last forever. And a lot of these people, you're going to see it next year. Same with the bill they signed or whatever to have more gun control shit come in. Again, less dead kids. The harvest. No one's thinking about the harvest. They're thinking about their wing-cuck talking points. Like, oh yeah, dude, like my life is valuable. Their life is valuable. The kids, think of the childerinos. But they're not thinking the big picture. And that's what's so frustrating about being a radical centrist. Your thoughts?
I think that life is valuable, and if we have more people on this planet, it's better. Now you could argue, what about the food? I know, like, I'm trying to take this as seriously as possible. Okay, food shortages are a problem, but like, The solution to that is not let's just kill people. Like that's literally the
It
plot to Logan
literally is,
Paul's
though.
hit movie, The Thinning.
That is
Okay.
literally
But
the
you
solution.
actually-
We've understood this for thousands of years. Every society that has stopped these mass killings of their people, what do they get in return? No food.
I don't think that the solution to overpopulation is to just kill a portion of the society. Like that's I'm sorry, like we're better than Thanos, okay?
Are we?
Yes.
Sometimes I'm not so sure.
Yeah, I don't know about that. He kind of was the ultimate radical centrist Chad. Like, he just had a mission, he accomplished it, snapped his finger, half of everyone's dead, and then he just goes and fucking grills on a planet in the middle of nowhere until the Wingcuck army comes and takes him down. What a guy.
I don't know. Genocide is bad. Even if it's quote unquote
Genocide is
random,
bad.
like it's so stupid. It's like, well, I'm only
Well,
killing
that's
random
the thing.
people.
We got to the point where it was voluntary, and I think that's part of the point he was trying to make. We were in the best possible scenario,
Yeah, we had tricked
right?
these women.
For ensuring the harvest.
We were ensuring the harvest. We tricked these women into thinking they were virtuous for doing it. Before, you had to rip them out of their arms to throw their virgin kid in the volcano. It was just a mess for everyone involved,
Look, okay, if there's poverty and they're starving, like the only people that are really going to be affected are like the really poor and like the kids in Africa. So I think we're going to be fine.
Yeah,
but I
that's
doubt
true.
that. First of all, in the United States, right? Like we're not even the ones people have to worry about. Like, have you seen the birth rates in other countries? Have you seen the populations of other countries like China, India? Like the birth rates. The United States birth rate is like the lowest, like one of the lowest, right? And that in all of Europe. So if people are assigning the blame here, now we have a problem. We aren't having enough children. So I don't buy this.
Man.
Abortion,
Do you really want more
abortion is
people around you? Is that really what you want?
Yes.
Yeah, but we've already established that you're in it for you're that's more clout. Like more people born equals more clout for
More
you.
viewers.
And I understand the grind again, and I respect it, but at the same time, like, what about when you actually have to deal with those people, like in a way that does not service your needs, like.
I won't have to deal with all of those people, but even if I did, who fucking cares? Like, I like talking to people. I'm not antisocial or anything.
So, you've never...
Fair enough.
Imagine this situation. You're driving your jalopy around, right? And, you're trying to get somewhere quick, and there's someone in front of you, and they're going 10 miles per hour under. They're in the fast lane. They're going 10 miles per hour under. You don't ever think to yourself, wow, I wish that person just didn't exist, and I could get on my way.
No, because... it's actually funny when I'm in the car with people, I hear people say like awful stuff, and I literally always say, oh, that person's probably a nice person. Every single time. And it pisses them off. But I'm just like, you don't know anything about that person. Why are you so quick to make harsh judgments? And if people are willing to make it, simply because someone's driving weird.
No. I know they're not a nice person.
Yeah,
fuck that.
Why are you so quick to make positive judgments?
Because I don't know any better, and innocent until proven guilty, right? It's one of the fundamentals of our democracy.
So, another take you had that I saw recently of yours was that you said veterans are bad people.
Yeah, murderers are bad people, and veterans just kill. They kill people that look different from them. The color of their skin doesn't align with the United States.
No.
Well, look, the thing is,
like,
those veterans are nice people.
Arabs.
You don't know that.
Okay, so black people killing slightly less black or brown people?
Well,
all right, so my internet cut out for about 2 seconds here. No. Returning now.
Their culture is different than ours. Why is the U.S.
because they're
wars that we should not be fucking involved in? These innocent people are dying, and
because
it's so
they're
wrong.
sitting on oil-rich land and they don't have democracy. That's why, duh.
Well, yeah, they don't have democracy, and the only way that we can introduce democracy to these savages, okay, is by showing it to them with ballistic missiles. That's how democracy is spread.
Like, I know you're joking, but like, I kind of feel uncomfortable like here because this is I'm so against all of this. Like, this is
against
so
what?
Wait, but don't you understand how soldiers were groomed into it? Like, these are people that grew up and they didn't have a lot going on. They had no in their life, they didn't have anything. A lot of them grow up poor, and then some army recruiter shows up in a Discord server and says, "Hey, look, like you need to." You need to join the army. You need to be one of us. Look how cool you can be. We have muscles. Look at bitches love the army, guys. Look at these cool guns you can shoot. These are people that people who join the military are usually groomed into it. Don't you have any?
Yeah, the propaganda is awful, but at the same time, if you murder somebody, like I don't have sympathy for murderers, right? Like you could be groomed by 4chan to become a school shooter.
Well, look,
I
I'm
don't have
not
sympathy
I'm not
for that
blaming the
person.
victims in the Middle East, okay, for getting, massacred and war crimed by a first world country and its armed services. But I'm also not going to victim blame these soldiers who, were kind of corralled into this situation.
Dude, somebody could be groomed to join ISIS, and I wouldn't have sympathy because they fucking joined ISIS. You know what I'm saying?
How come you have sympathy for rapers but not for murderers?
Because when you rape somebody, they're still alive. They can still recover from that. When
Not when
somebody
I'm done
dies,
with
there's
them.
no. When somebody dies, there's no taking them back. Rapists have like the second highest like revision rate of the second highest they respond really well to like reform. So like if we treat rapists good in prison,
Okay,
they're
I
much less
see.
likely to commit crime than other crimes. Like they're not likely to reoffend. These are
Okay,
people that
that's
can be reasoned with, and then people like treat them like they're evil
that's
monsters when they're
interesting.
just fucking people.
Where do you get the
But
data for that?
I found I forget the source, but I
Source?
fuck. Yeah, there was a source for it. I just don't remember it
Source?
because it was a while ago.
I
If I
don't
find
know.
it,
Because, okay, so I'm kind of imagining here, and please tell me if I'm wrong, is this idea of, we have a rape culture and that we can, bring people out of it. Is that kind of the notion that you have?
dude, culture. I don't. Rape culture is so fucking dumb. It's part of this toxic masculinity. Men are evil. It's like I don't buy into that bullshit.
Well, what I'm wondering is, why do you think that rapists can be reasoned with? It's not like nobody was ever like, hey, bro, you shouldn't do that. Like, they know it's wrong. Why is it?
Because people misunderstand what rape is, and people have like this cartoonish version of it, and it's like, no, you don't fucking know anything. If you're gonna treat these people like they're evil monsters, like you don't know anything about the real world, about the
Rapist.
nuance of the situation, or the fact that like it's just people online don't know anything. It's like, why do you think victims like don't go to the police? Right? Is it because they're no? It's victims don't go to the police because they don't want to ruin an innocent ruin a person's life, right?
No, I don't think so. That doesn't. I think it's more so that they're like, oh, I'm heavily traumatized now and need to, take a shower.
Or they don't trust the police also or the
Dude,
system.
yeah, but like, do you know how many times where it's like, oh, I wish I could, do that, but like, I don't want to ruin
Not
this
saying
guy's
that's
life.
not saying that's
That's
valid.
That is a normal fucking response. I would say that that's the correct response to not want to ruin somebody's life because the way the police system is run right now, it's fucking awful.
I don't
They
think,
don't treat.
being a raper is ruining someone's life.
It can be
No.
detrimental to it, but I fully believe that they'll recover from it. Like, you know what I'm saying?
What if they give them a baby and mentally they can't cope with it?
Well, that sucks, but like, I don't think having a child is like the worst thing in the world, you know?
So, how far do you go in on victim blaming too? I'm wondering because I often ask questions like, "Yeah, but what was she wearing?" Things like that. Do you think that
Yeah,
do you think that there's a level of culpability to victims here? Because I don't understand how you could have that viewpoint if
No,
you
I think
didn't.
it's too. I think it's too separate. I think it's a.
yeah. The whole like that's like a dumb argument. Like I understand that I've heard that before. Like oh yeah, but it's like in my opinion, you could be safer by like not choosing to enter certain situations. But like that doesn't mean that you're like responsible for what happened. It just means that like hey, let's educate. But that's just like the fucking bullshit, right? Liberals will take this and spin it to oh well, educating people is bad because we shouldn't have to. Therefore, we won't. And then when a conservative person's like okay, in order to protect yourself, you should do this. And then they'll be so cheery about it. It's like, what? We just want to protect you. What's so wrong about that? You know what I'm saying? It's not even victim blaming at that point. And even if it is, I don't fucking care. It's like, here are things you can do to help you. Now, if somebody is a victim, that doesn't mean you go to them and be like, oh, well, why didn't you do this? I mean, you can give them advice to protect themselves in the future if they want to prevent them from happening to themselves. But, after the fact, I don't think that that's very helpful. But before the fact, absolutely hone it in that these are the things you could do to be making yourself safe.
So,
And
so
if something happens, you knew the risk you put yourself into.
what recourse do these victims
It's
have
reasonable.
then? If you're not allowed to, like, shoot the raper or beat up the raper, like, is it morally justified to hire a bigger raper to get them? Like, what
So,
recourse do we have here?
I mean, that's basically what jail is. I mean,
so first of all, like, here's the thing I don't understand about rape, right? The only thing that, I mean, STDs suck, so, like, let's assume STDs don't exist briefly, right? So, rape is essentially somebody you don't
I'm
like that has
cured.
sex. So, rape is essentially somebody that you don't like has sex with you, and that's all it is, right? It's like, okay, why is it so awful when some stranger or some person that I don't like has sex with me, but it's like this amazing thing when somebody does? It's like the concept of the same act, the same thing
Well,
being
I'm
done
a
by two different people can be interpreted
well,
as an amazing thing and a terrible thing. It's like, no,
I
it
wouldn't call that
objectively,
rape because
it is.
I'm a straight man, and
I
I've had sex with lots of people I
Hold
don't
on,
like
hold
as a
on.
result.
Objectively, it is the same action done by two different people, but it's hypocrisy because you're treating these two people very differently because of who they are. So it's just like the biggest form of bigotry out there.
that is
If you
a
really,
hot.
if you really think about it, it is the biggest form of bigotry.
Holy
So
shit!
I appreciate this take. It is very, very hot.
Blistering.
I gotta ask, have you found yourself in a situation where somebody said that you were in a less than consensual position?
No,
No, never a little bit of never a little bit of doubt or somebody being upset after. Look, if it was a woman, they get
okay.
upset over dumb shit all the time. But
Can can I explain why? Okay, because I'm a trans woman and I only have sex with people post-op, right? So I've never even found myself in the situation because if anyone has ever tried to have sex with me, I just like fucking ignore them and just ghost them because I'm just fucking not interested, until post-op. Like pre-op sex as a trans woman is disgusting and never. So the fact is that
Never.
I never
okay,
asked anyone for sex, and if somebody asks me for sex, I just ignore them.
so
So
are you post
that
op too then, or
I might be, I might not be.
yeah?
Based.
Because I want to know, like, in the
I mean, I
art of
have a vagina.
scissoring, if you're post op, like, is that dangerous or is it okay or like, I just don't understand like how that works functionally. I've never
I'm
thought
not a
about it.
lesbian. I'm not a lesbian, so I don't know that.
Oh, okay. So only post-op trans men?
No, post-op trans lesbians. Okay, but like I'm
Oh,
not. Yeah, like straight women do not scissor, so that is not me.
do post-op trans lesbians scissor?
I'm assuming so, but I don't
I don't
know.
know, right?
Okay.
Okay, okay. I just have questions. Look, I'm a curious guy. I'm like Joe Rogan. I just want to know more about the world.
Dude,
It's
but
not
like,
a
do you understand why like most trans women would be bothered by these questions though? Like, these
Yes.
aren't like good
no.
faith
Yeah.
questions. These are just like he trolling with the boys. Like, oh my god, haha, trans people are so weird. Like, these are not like genuine, actual like wanting to understand me questions. These are just like,
No, no,
let me
no.
just entertain like my own
I
weird
don't
like.
I don't think trans women are weird. That's such a misrepresentation of like look, I have a podcast. I have many trans friends. I want to say that first of all. I have a trans friend, so I can't be transphobic first of all. But beyond that, like I'm asking honest questions because I thought that it might be an
Wait,
area of
who is
expertise.
your trans friend? Okay.
You wouldn't know her. She goes to a different school. But look,
What do you mean?
I,
We
I
got
was hoping.
Liliana.
Yeah,
Dude,
Liliana. I
come
was
on.
hoping you would be too, Rose, because I
Wait,
respect you.
the different school thing is so bullshit. Like, how old are you guys?
Old enough. If that's what you're asking.
Over 18, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in our 20. We're well into our
Okay,
into
okay. So
adulthood.
the school comment was just some fucking weird joke. Like I thought. Just wanted to make sure
Look,
because
this is a
otherwise
comedy
it'd be weird.
podcast, first of all. We talk about
I'm
politics stuff, and
aware.
we
I'm
bring people
aware.
on to give their hot takes, and, I make a couple jokes here and there, but I don't want you to feel disrespected. I don't, that's not what we're going for here. We're an open forum for people to tell us their most interesting thoughts and whatnot, and that's all I wanted to explore.
I mean, I have a lot of interesting thoughts, right? But like, I
Clearly.
feel like
Sure.
other people have done like better. Like, I mean, I've been on a lot of YouTubers channels, right? Like I recently was on Dylan Burns. Like he's the guy who does Hippy Dippy, and we've talked a lot about like why I think that like Ukraine is actually kind of bad, and I don't support them. So like, I mean, when it comes to that kind of stuff, I mean, all the time I have like weird conversations. I say like my honest opinions, and there might be like a little like. Don't get me wrong. Okay, I'm hyperbolic on Twitter, right? But the beautiful thing about what I do is like I mix like my exaggerations with like genuine feelings. So it's like nobody can ever tell where the line is. You know what I'm saying? Whereas like with someone like you guys,
Ah.
with someone like you guys, right? It's like blatantly clear where that line is, and it's like it's not fun to talk to that
Is it?
person anymore because it's
Is
like,
it?
well, I know what you're doing, and unless you're like on the same wavelength, like I would assume you two are on the same
Is
wavelength
it?
when it comes to the trolling and stuff, then people on the outside are just not going to be interested.
Why
With
is
someone
it?
like me, I fascinate them because they'll
I
never.
think
You would be surprised what's serious and what's not. If I were to sit down and tell you, okay, this is what's exaggerated, you'd be like, wait, this is exaggerated, but not this. It would be like this weird, confusing thing, but it only ever makes sense to me. It's like
No, I
I'm
don't
not a troll,
understand because it,
but
it
I
seems
also
like
agree with
it
that
seems
statement. You
like
understand what I'm saying?
what I'm trying to understand is you're saying that people are always calling you a troll when you're just trying to express your honest feelings or like trying to learn, trying to
Dude,
grow as a
I
person. That's what I'm trying to do with you right now, Rose. And
because I genuinely am, and I can tell by the way you're speaking right now that's not. If you were genuine, you would not be having the tone of your voice that you are now. Okay.
this is just how I
so you don't.
talk. I'm retarded. Like this is
He
just how I.
he does sound ridiculous
Yeah,
most of the time, whether he's serious or not.
I just
Um,
sense a high dose of
but
sarcasm.
do you
Is what I'm saying.
you don't think that anything any opinions we've expressed at all have been genuine?
No, I believe that some of them are. It's just some of
Well,
the
that's
stuff
I
we're
think that's
saying.
all that matters. Like this show is about I think to me at least is we can have a conversation and we can just throw out bullshit and throw out serious takes and it doesn't
Yeah,
really
no.
matter.
Believe
And
me, I like to throw out bullshit too. I just think that I'm smarter about it, but whatever.
and don't you think that there's like a way that you can make a point by kind
Well,
of making like an anti-point almost? You know, a way that you can kind of say something by saying something completely different. Or is that like in a too ascended big brain thing?
Um, no, I know what you're saying, right? Like you say some like something that comes off as like pro trans, but in reality, it's like a dog whistle for like a super transphobic statement. Like
No.
I know your game. I know what you do. Right? You say like things like, "Well, actually, I want to respect trans women, which is why I treat them different." It's like that's a dog whistle for you to be like, "Well, actually, trans women aren't actually women, which is why I treat them differently." So
It's
it's like I
not.
know your game.
See, because what you're
I
doing right
know.
now is you're trying to
well,
prescribe meaning to my words that they don't have. And that's like somebody
But
misgendering
I
you,
I
trying to like prescribe something to you that doesn't
listen.
represent you.
I've
That's what you're doing to me
I've
right now. And I find
Hold
it
on, let
highly
me explain. Let
disrespectful.
me explain myself. I've interacted with enough trans folks to understand how they act. I understand their language. All right, I deal with this shit every fucking day. The difference is, I'm just trying to be myself. I'm just a woman. I'm just like normal, right? Whereas
And
you guys
I've
aren't.
never said you weren't.
Hold on, listen. I'm just trying to express my genuine identity, and I hear things that feel like people are denying me of that, at least in some ways, right? Now we can talk about that, but the point is, what you're doing is a lot different from that. It's not you expressing your genuine identity; it's you finding a way to make fun of me, or not treat me as seriously, or treat me like I'm not actually a woman. Like it's a very
I
fucking
mean, what have
different
we
thing.
what I mean,
I've been
what have
It's
we
talking.
me, right? My
you
right to
You're
you
accusing.
exist.
personally
I'm
you
sorry.
My
Go
right
ahead,
to
personally
Rose.
what
exist.
well
My right to exist is much more important than your right to be transphobic to me.
I'm
Okay.
trying to figure out what exactly like how to you personally how have we are is that what how it comes off is that we're trying to deny you being a woman to you personally
No, what it comes off to me is that you guys hold a lot
because
of
I
weird
like I
views.
don't
I'll tell you how you come off. Okay. I get the vibe from you guys, and I'm usually pretty right about this. That you have these weird views about trans people, and that you think it's funny, and then you're going to share this podcast to a bunch of your transphobic friends on our
well
drama
here
and all those places, and they're going to
Oh,
laugh at me for being
is
a
that the
stupid.
issue
No,
here that I
no,
said we're
hold on.
our
No,
drama
it's not even
sponsored or
it's not even that. It's just literally if you didn't even mention it, it's just the way you're talking, right? The problem is that you're going to send this to a bunch of your transphobic friends, and they're going to laugh at me for being quote unquote a cringy trans woman, and then we're just going to go on with our days, and you're going to feel like you accomplished.
Well, here's the
something.
thing: if you didn't, and I don't even like that this is like.
But
I don't
because
even like that this conversation has to happen because
I don't like that it's personally. At this point.
Yeah, because I don't care. Like I don't think about it. I don't think about.
Like, are you guys gonna say it's my fault because I said like the cringy rape stuff? Like that has nothing to do with
no.
I didn't even shit on you for that. Hey, look, you're telling me that like I'm talking down to you. First of all, you're telling me that I'm talking down to you, that, you know, I'm being a dick or being a bad guy, that my intentions aren't honest or whatever. And then you say I don't treat you like a woman. Newsflash, that's how I treat women. Okay?
Okay.
Are you understanding now, Rose?
That was kind of funny.
Please.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, you're trying to.
I don't think that the conversation is like you're almost necessitating the conversation when we don't really even like a clarification on the issue doesn't need to be made on our end. Like we don't need to have that you know. I don't understand why it's a big like you have to point it out so much like as if.
Just because it bothers me. I know you guys probably don't care. But
no, and not about how you feel, but like we don't care what trans people do with their lives. It's their business, and yeah, like you said, you just want to be yourself, and that is 100% respectable.
The things you say and the way you say them really irks me. It just gives me this weird vibe,
and I think that makes you more of a woman than anything. I think that really affirms what you're trying to say.
If you're genuinely saying that hurts you, then
yeah, I'm not trying to. I'm not trying to like. Hurt
I'm sorry about that.
I just like the weird trans stuff. Like, why do you have?
But it's not just the weird trans stuff. It's
like trans wrong. Let's talk about trans wrongs. Like,
because it's stupid. Because it's stupid.
You know that's like a joke on me, right? Being like, they just won't pay attention to me. I can't understand why, and then I act like
an
idiot. Okay, but you get it's a bit, right?
I've heard that joke before. It's like let's enough about women's rights. Let's talk about women's wrongs. But like at the same time, it's like I feel like the people who say that. Like a person who like actually respects women probably isn't gonna like say that.
Yeah, but it's like
even if
is Vosh telling a joke when he says that Republicans are gonna send this, you know, they're gonna assassinate you. You're gonna be the first to die when they get into power. Is that a joke?
I genuinely think that he actually thinks that there's a genocide coming because he's just
kind of retarded like that. I agree with you.
He genuinely thinks that the genocide's going to happen if Trump gets in the
that's you know, like what is it, you know, what is a joke and what isn't a joke? I mean, it's like, does it really fucking matter at this point?
Look, I'm like the white Dave Chappelle, right? I take it too far sometimes, but I'm just trying to like, you know, figure out my comedic voice. I'm not trying to like, you know, I'm not trying to take it too far or really hurt people. I just tell jokes, man.
I see. I don't like Dave Chappelle. Big shocker, right? You know.
I'm assuming it's not a race thing. God damn it.
No, it's not a race thing. Oh, that's actually good. Funny. I forgot to mention something. So there was a big controversy that I had, right? Because
another one.
Well, yeah. So Kendrick Lamar, right? I have a video about him, and the video is about his song "Auntie Diaries." In the song, he misgenders his trans relatives, and he dead names them. Or, well, does he? Actually, yeah, he does dead name them. So he does all of this stuff, and he claims to be like this woke, accepting person. And so I make a video, and I say that I think it's weird that people have lower standards for black people, because if like someone like Macklemore, like a white rapper, made the same song. No, listen to what I'm saying, right? If like a white person made the same song where they were like dead naming and misgendering their trans relatives, the response from the the response from the general public wouldn't be, "This is an amazing, groundbreaking song." The response would be, "Why the fuck are you misgendering and dead naming your relatives?" But when it comes to Kendrick Lamar, a black man, the response is, "This is so groundbreaking within the hip hop community. It's so rare for a rapper, a person of color, to like, you know, speak trans inclusive or whatever." It's like, no, I'm not gonna them to a lower standard because of their race. I'm not racist. I treat everybody the same.
Right. Okay? The bigotry of low expectations.
I would argue against that a little bit, because I kind of see the idea of having expectations for, we have a wide melting pot country, and in that there's many various subcultures, and expecting them all to toe the line on various social issues and come to the same agreement on things, I think that's a form of social colonization that's really hurting those communities in question now.
I literally don't care. I don't care.
Yes.
Like I think it's totally fine to
Yeah.
I think
I
here's
get
the
what
thing.
you're saying, Orion,
Hold
and I'm
on.
not even going to say it's not even an invalid argument to a certain degree, but I agree. I don't care. I feel
If
like
you're
everybody
gonna,
should be held to the same standard,
yeah,
regardless of the
exactly.
issue.
If you're gonna hold everybody accountable to the same laws of the land, right? If someone commits a crime, it doesn't matter what your culture says. You committed a fucking crime, then the same should be held for everything else. Like, I don't want to give people special treatment, right? I don't want people to give me a special treatment because I'm a trans woman. I just want people to treat me like any other cis woman, right?
Is that not what the
So
show is about, Orion? Okay, okay,
That's just
upholding a certain level of equality. Okay,
But that's just not how the world works. Like, when you're from different different people get charged
yeah, well, fuck
differently.
their culture.
Like,
That's what I say.
Asians, they're given way more parking tickets for some reason, or
Asian
traffic
people in
tickets.
America, okay, Hispanic people in America, Black people in America, their cultures be damned.
I mean, I
I
just
mean,
think that forcing
I
them
think
all to
American culture is important, right? And I think regardless of your skin color or the culture you come from, we have a culture in this country, and I think it's important for the people that live here, you know, have our same cultural values, right? I
I
wouldn't want
mean,
someone coming from like a third world country and thinking that like just shooting people, raping people is okay. I wouldn't want people like
Wait,
that, right? But
wait a
like you have people
second.
from like other
So you don't have any sympathy for that third world rapist? We can unteach them that, I thought.
yo,
Educate them on the wrong.
rape,
okay.
this is
Can
rape
I can I
nationalism.
Can I can I say right? So rape that comes from the U.S. is very different from like rape in other countries because they've normalized it to such an extent that it's just a very different thing. I don't know how to explain
Nor,
that, but like in the U.S., right? When we talk about raping somebody, it's like there's miscommunications in the bedroom, right? Like most of the time, it's not like someone's being malicious. They don't think that they're this
Oh,
evil people. But like, wait, have you ever
that's the
have you ever seen like a
disconnect. Okay, okay.
can,
See,
can I explain? Have you ever read like a twit longer from like a victim, basically being like, oh well, this person, it's literally all just miscommunications. Like this person misread the situation, right?
yeah, that
When it comes to
person
third world
wasn't raped
countries,
then. That's
I'm
that's
not
not.
saying that.
I
No, what I'm
am.
saying
I'm
is
saying that person wasn't raped if they're just like, oh, like, I had like
no.
3 alcoholic drinks and he
I
had two, so like, there's the
I would
imbalance of
do the
power.
math.
Yeah,
I would
do the
say
math.
that it is. I would say that it is rape, and I would say that rape has become so watered down that's basically meaningless. But when it comes to these third world countries and what their rape is, they don't give a shit about what consent is. They don't even like bother to think about it. They just go around thinking that they're entitled to everybody else. It's very fucking different
Give
from
me
what's
any of that
happening here.
watered
Okay,
down rape. I like my rape strong.
so when I make my quote unquote rape apologia, it's because I am actually acknowledging, unlike most fucking people, that rape has become because of feminists that rape doesn't mean what it used to. And if Me Too people are gonna say this guy grabbed my ass therefore he raped me, or this guy like fucking like I said yes but I actually wasn't feeling it and he raped me because of that. Like if they're gonna call that fucking bullshit rape, or like well yeah I didn't say no, but I was. It's like what the fuck? Like, someone has to like enthusiastically be like, yes, yes, 100%. I'm sure I want to have sex with you. Like, no, people, that's so fucking stupid. Like, if you
That's
genuinely
gay.
think that everyone's,
Preach, sister, preach.
yes, I am sure I want to have sex with you. Are you sure you want to have sex with me? Yes.
Look,
Like,
I
if
make them
people
sign a
literally
form
think that that's
beforehand.
true, but like, here's the thing. That's the thing. It's like these fucking crazy people legitimately think you need enthusiastic consent, which means that it's like, are you sure you want to have sex with me? Yes. Even though if both people are genuinely into it and they're both like feeling it, like you can just tell sometimes, right? But the problem is that some people misinterpret that, which then is called rape. And it's like, well, if the woman doesn't say anything, the man thinks he's consenting. The woman is too nervous to say anything. So these are complicated situations, right? So it's like to call that rape and say
I
that man's a horrible person. when it's
I've
like
never
it's
experienced a woman being too nervous to say anything. All they ever do is say things all the time. I just don't buy it when I hear those stories. And I think that
uh,
a lot of what you're saying is like, when
It's
when you come out with your hot take like there's nothing wrong with rape. Bam. That rustles people's jimmies, but it's a lot more reasonable when you qualify it with, you know, that's not rape. These people.
I think a good analogy might be, okay, so say you like your steaks medium rare, okay, and the waiter brings it out to you medium well. Is that rape?
what? Oh no, no. Okay, first of all, I've heard this comparison all the time, right? Like coffee. I saw this video, like consent is like tea. And I'm like, that's the dumbest argument I've ever heard because it's like all these people are like, yeah, this is great. This helps people understand what consent is. Like, okay, think of it this way. If somebody wants me to eat tea or drink tea and I don't want tea, a lot of times I will drink the tea anyway because I don't, the person
You don't
wants
want
me
to be
to drink
rude,
tea.
right?
I don't want to be rude, right? And
Right.
then the same thing happens with sex, right? But then
No, I don't.
automatically, but like think about it this way. Hold on. If somebody wants me to drink tea and I drink it, right? I don't then call the person an evil, horrible person and should be locked up in prison because should never have any friends again. It's
Yeah,
like
it's
it's
like,
not that big of
come
a
on, I
deal. It's
paid
just
for your
like
dinner.
oh,
I took you to the
it's
movie.
it's
Come
like
on,
yeah,
you're being a little bit
maybe
rude.
maybe you didn't want to drink the tea, but you were being nice and you drank the tea anyway, or somebody
Yeah.
like shoved the tea down your face. Like who fucking cares? It's just fucking. It's not the end of the world. You'll fucking live. It's just you know what I'm saying, right? Like
I
it's like
do.
so dumb.
I do.
It's like
I agree.
why?
Yeah, no, I agree completely.
And
It's like
maybe
I'm not gonna cry a fit because oh my god, this person abused me. Like they wanted me to drink tea, and I didn't want to drink tea. Like
isn't the whole
they
trans
wanted me
thing
to eat at
about
this restaurant. I
not
wanted to eat at that
taking
other
tea?
restaurant.
But yeah, it's yeah.
I mean hormone blockers and estrogen.
It was a testosterone joke. It's just a little fun, a little bit of sprinkle. Yeah, I wanted to lighten up the rape apology
Oh,
a
I
little
missed
bit,
that.
but you know, I think you have some very interesting points with that. I definitely see where you're coming from with it. We're hitting about an hour here, so I think it's about time for us to hit the old dusty trail. Rose, I want to thank you for coming on the show and putting up with our crap. I genuinely
Yeah,
wasn't trying to offend you. I'm just trying to have, a good time. And I wanted you to have a good time too. I hope that, we can
I
talk
was a little bit
again.
offended.
I hope that
babe.
I was a little offended that you didn't give me any advice on how to up my game. I was really counting on you to help me out there, but I hope that
Dude, I don't think trans women would want to date somebody like you. Like, no offense, like with the
My
stuff that you're
gender?
saying. It's just like, and also, I don't even fucking buy that you're serious about that. I'm sorry. Like,
that's really hurtful.
but
Shut the fuck up.
Look, I hope that we can have a more constructive conversation in the future. I hope that you understand a little bit more where I'm coming from now, and I've tried to understand where you're coming from on
dude,
issues too.
we can be more constructive if you let me. Okay, like if you like, you need to contribute to that too, right?
Can you give
I
me a
don't know.
little
I
bit
don't
of
know about Orion, but I thought you were great. I love you. You're great.
Yeah, I thought you were great too. I want to have you back on. Hopefully, hopefully I wasn't too
Thanks.
off-putting. I get that response a lot. Unfortunately. Anyways, my grillas, thank you for listening to this episode of the Grillcast. Come back next week for more radical centrism straight into your ear holes. Peace out.